Hi, I'm Leslie Sweeney, and today we're going to talk about miracles. So, miracles. What is a miracle, and how do I get one? A miracle is a divine intervention where we pray for something that might seem difficult or perhaps even impossible, and our prayers are answered with a satisfactory outcome. It is where God's hand provides for our need, often against the likely forces of science and nature. For example, where we receive healing from sickness, or we overcome an addiction, where we find a life partner, a home, or a job, and that sort of thing. Why is it that few people try miracles today? It could be because the current generation have had more exposure to academic teaching, i.e. learning associated with the physical world, rather than religious learning, i.e. learning associated with the spiritual world. So people tend to use physical solutions because spiritual solutions seem to have somehow dropped off the radar. People seem to have forgotten that when they are told that something is impossible, then it is only impossible according to the bounds of that particular avenue of understanding. So, for example, when a doctor says that it's impossible to cure something, what he actually means is that according to the limitations of medical science, the illness is impossible to cure. However, that is not to say that it might be possible to cure this illness by using solutions beyond the boundaries of that particular understanding. For example, by asking for a miracle. So, if it be God's will, then may that person be cured. Miracles were widely relied upon by our grandparents' generation. Very often their needs were fully taken care of. They had everything they needed and wanted for nothing. They were typically fairly happy as well. Some would say that they had a better quality of life than we did ourselves. Could this possibly be because of their closeness to God? Could our generation perhaps learn something from our grandparents' generation? Should we perhaps learn to ask God for help, like our grandparents typically did? Do miracles work? In general, yes, they do. When we ask for something with faith, so when we believe that something will happen, then God will often grant that thing. But don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. How do I get a miracle? The answer is to pray for it, to reach out to God with our hearts. Are miracles compatible with Christian faith? Absolutely yes. Jesus told his apostles, "You can ask for anything in my name, and I will do it." This indicates that God will provide for our needs and our wants. Does this mean that I can ask for a lottery win? Well, there's nothing to stop you from asking. However, God will typically only grant requests that will bring no spiritual harm to you or the people around you, and that are broadly compatible with his will, though his will is often flexible. Typically, lottery wins can often bring a lot of negative impacts, so it's less likely that those types of miracles would be granted. Are there any other tips for miracles? Well, yes. In the Catholic tradition, it is customary to use a saint as a channel to God. The miracle is granted at God's power through the intercession or with the help of that particular saint. So put simply, this means that we ask the saint asks God, and God grants the miracle. Some saints are also specialists in certain areas. This is called a patronage. So saints are patron saints of certain things. Here are some examples that you might like to try. The Venerable Matt Talbot. Whilst strictly speaking, he's not yet fully a saint, since he's not fully beatified, he is still recognised for his patronage of those who struggle with alcoholism and other addictions. So he is a good person to pray to for anyone suffering from such addictions. Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph was the father of Jesus. He is the patron of fathers and workers, so is a good person to pray for any family or work-related matters. He is also the patron of those suffering from doubt and hesitation. Saint Anthony. Saint Anthony is a good all-round miracle worker, so can be prayed to for all things. He is also the patron of lost items and lost people. Saint Jude. Jude was one of the 12 apostles, the follower of Jesus, and is the patron saint of impossible causes or desperate situations. So he can be prayed to where you are in an impossible situation. Saint Anne, who was the mother of Our Lady, is traditionally prayed to for those seeking a suitable partner or husband. Our Lady of Lourdes, Mary, the mother of Jesus, is generally considered to be the patron of those suffering from illnesses and disease, and is a good person to pray to for cure of such disease. Saint Gerard Majella is the patron of mothers and expectant mothers. He is generally prayed to for those seeking to become parents. Saint Pio, also known as Padre Pio, is a good all-round miracle worker, so can be prayed to for all things. But he is also the patron of stress relief. Saint Benedict is a good person to pray to for the spiritual deliverance of anyone who is under the influence of evil. Saint Expedite is a good person to pray to where a fast solution is needed to a problem. He is also prayed to for help from those experiencing financial difficulties. There's a whole list of Catholic patron saints. Those are only a few. Have a look around and you'll find many, many others. But check out some of those patron saints if you follow the Catholic tradition. Generally, when we receive a miracle, we should do two things. Number one, we should give thanks to God for the miracle that's been granted. And number two, we should encourage someone else who is in a similar need to use that particular miracle prayer for a solution. So thanks for watching today's video. Please also say a prayer for me. If you have liked today's video and are watching on YouTube, click subscribe to see our other videos. If you're using another channel to view this video, just look up and subscribe to the Spirit Speaks YouTube channel. Good luck and God bless.